Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another Star Citizen video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about something you've probably heard 100 times from 100 different sources. Star Citizen is a scam, right? Star Citizen is nothing that's going to go on for years. Development's going to go on for years and years and years. They're just going to constantly release ships, take your money, and never actually finish the game. I've heard these statements. I've come to my own conclusions, and I want to share those with you right now. First of all, some of you might not agree with my conclusions, and some of you might agree with my conclusions. Understand that this is just my opinion of the way things are going down right now, but you are more than welcome to put a chat, a comment, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, you know, and if you even want to donate to the channel, you're more than welcome to do that. But let's talk about Star Citizen is a scam. I want you all to know where I'm coming from. Now, I'm a backer. I back since 2013, 2014, 2013, right? Something like that. Yeah, late 2013. I'm going to say September, October timeframe of 2013 is when I became a backer. Whenever they hit this, right before they hit the 16 million mark, they were still at 15, very close to 16, and I think I put them over to 16, but I don't remember. But yeah, so when they hit 16 million, that's when I backed. There was an understanding when Chris Roberts and Cloud Imperium Games put a game up on Kickstarter to start his project. His project was a dogfighting game. Everyone would get a dogfighting ship. You could like earn money in the game and get various dogfighting fighter craft, and that you could maybe multiplayer. I don't remember, but there was definitely, yeah, I think there was probably multiplayer, multi-cruise ships. That's the word I'm looking for. And I do think all that was in there, and that was kind of appealing to people to have like a ship-to-ship combat game when you have multiple people on the same ship. And that was it. That's what the Kickstarter was. It was, we were going to have Arena Commander, basically. Lots of different maps, lots of different ships, done, right? Nothing else. And that's what a lot of people early on, like before the 15 million mark, maybe even before the 10 million mark, at some point, I could get my numbers wrong, and that's another thing I want to put out. This is all off my cuff, so I'm not looking up any numbers. I'm not fact checking. I'm not doing any of that. This is all generalities, paraphrasing, so don't hold me to any facts, okay? I'm just going all completely off of memory, which I'm an old man and my memory's fading. The original concept of the game was a dogfighting only game. Done. Multiplayer, dogfighting, done. That's not what Chris Roberts wanted, right? He wanted to do this thing, right? He wanted to have this huge multi-system, multiplayer, MMO. He had this vision, right? This huge vision. But he knew that he didn't have a whole lot of money. He didn't want to go, he didn't even want to go to backers. Not backers. He didn't want to go to like corporate sponsors. He wanted to go to the people, and he even negotiated with some corporate sponsors that, hey, if I can make like 5 million on Kickstarter, will you guys fund the rest of the 23 million that I need to finish this dogfighting game? Yes, I said 23 million to finish a dogfighting game. And they said, sure, if you get 5 million, we'll do it, right? He got 5 million. He got 6 million, he got 7 million, he got 8 million. It started to go up and up and up. And at about the 16 million mark or something like that, he said, screw it. It looks like this is going to be successful. I'm going to get enough money. I don't need to go to outside sponsors. I'm going to cut them out of the loop, right? They're not going to get in this. I appreciate them saying that they would back me if I made enough money, but I'm moving on. He made the 23 million. And it kept coming. It kept coming. And he, or somewhere in there, maybe around the 15 or 16 million mark, he decided, as a company, they were going to decide, should we go on? Should we make my total vision, you know, this huge game that I want to make? It seems like it's going to be super popular. It seems like everybody's going to want this. I remember him putting something on the forums saying that he asked he asked the people if they wanted more. Do you want like different planets to fly to? Do you want mining and exploration? Do you want ground combat, first person shooting? What do you want? Everybody pretty much said they want it all. We want everything. And he says, cool, this is exactly what I want to make. And I'm just going to continue on. We're just going to pump this thing out until we can get this pushed out. As soon as he made that decision to move on, to make what Star Citizen is really going to be right now, you can't accomplish that with 23 million. You can't accomplish that in 2 years, or whatever the original quote was on Kickstarter. I don't even know. So there are people out there now saying, Star Citizen's a scam because I backed for just a dogfighting game, and now he's trying to make this big, huge game. Well, you're the minority. A lot of people wanted this huge game. He decided he's going to make the game for everybody that wanted it, which is the majority. And he's actually trying to cater to the majority. There are some minorities out there, you know, that only wanted that dogfighting game, and that's all they wanted. I can see where they would be upset because they said he's going to offer this, they backed for this, and now that he's giving away this, and that's not what they wanted. But he is including this in this. So you will still have your dogfighting game called Arena Commander, and you will still have access to all the stuff, even though that's not what you backed for. Okay, so let's go back to 2012, right? He concepted this game, got some of his friends to put together a little video, and he presented it, right? A lot of people got excited about it and said, ooh, that looks cool, right? Let's jump on that. Let's help out. Let's back. A lot of the backers said, let's back, right? He started with what, 5 people? 5 people in the company. You're not going to make a huge game with 5 people. Not even going to make an Arena Commander game with 5 people. So what did he have to do? He had to start hiring people. He hired people, and he hired people. He looked for talent. He hired people that could do the looking for talent. You know, he had to build up a company. He got up to about 30 people, crowded an office. This is the one in Austin, right? They're like super crowded. So to build this company fast, he needed outside help. Okay, so he reached out to some partners like Turbulent, Behavior, Ilphonic, some people that have established offices that he could hire them to help him build this game, right? And so they are currently, or they were currently working on the projects. They had people that they could dedicate to help him create things because they had the manpower and the resources and the computers and all that stuff too, and the office space. And he would just pay them to do it. And then as he was doing that, he was in the process of building out his own company. So he started hiring more and more people. And then once he realized that he had enough people that he didn't need these third-party companies assisting him, basically he cut ties with them. He said, thank you for your efforts. I really appreciate you guys helping us out and getting us started. But now we're just going to move on and do it ourselves internally. Now, a lot of people viewed that as breaking a contract or not fulfilling any agreement. But I bet you bottom dollar that they knew that was coming. Like he probably said, hey, I only need you to help us to get started until we get our feet on the ground, and then we're going to take over on our own. And they probably already knew that. So don't look at that. And that's probably what goes on all the time anyway in the industry. So don't even look at that as a negative. That was a positive because he actually looked at getting this game out sooner by reaching out for assistance and helping him build this project up. But it took time. He hired people over the course of a couple of years. So you're looking at maybe 2014, 2015 is when he had a 300 or plus sizable employee base that now he can really buckle down and say, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do that, or else, right? Before he couldn't do that. Before he's like, okay, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do now? We got to kind of juggle what we need and what the public wants. And He doesn't need to do that anymore. He's got pretty much all the resources he needs right now to get going. And he's still growing. He's still growing. And why? Because this project is it's huge. His vision is just so big. There's no way. And I can see why people are saying, now I'm trying to get back to this is a scam, right? People have put money into this game. Let's just use a ship. Hey, we got this concept sale for a ship, right? And players are like, okay, I'll give you $100 for that ship. Sounds good. The problem is okay, back up. And then the players don't get the ship right away. They get the ship a year later, 2 years later, they get this ship. And then the ship isn't exactly what they thought it was going to be, right? They're pissed off because, like me, I'm pissed off about this. The Retaliator, I'll say it. That's not what's influencing this this discussion. So the players, they back, right? And that's part of the problem. In society today, people want what they pay for immediately. Like, I give you the money, give it to me today or next day. I order it, I want it within a week, or I'm suing you. You know, that's the mentality. So now the problem is that players are paying today and not getting the product, right? They're not getting anything for the money they put in immediately. It's coming, but they don't understand the process of crowdfunding, or not even Kickstarter, like backing a project. When you start a project like Star Citizen and money starts to come in, you're under an obligation to give them what they're asking for. But you don't have to do it, you don't have to compromise your convictions or your desire to make a perfect. You don't want to like just give them a broken system today that when you could have a perfectly built system tomorrow. So you're gonna want to give them the perfectly built system, right? Okay, and as a backer, as someone who's backing this game, you should understand that you don't want them to just throw stuff at you. You want them to build it perfectly and then give it to you. But here comes another symptom. People think they're buying the ship, and that's not what you're doing. They think they're buying a computer game. They think they're pre-ordering, let's say that. They think they're pre-ordering their ship, or they're pre-ordering their game. No, that's not what you're doing. That's what Star Citizen, that's not what it is. You think of it like this, and you're probably gonna say, what? You're donating money to that company. You're saying, here, take some money. I don't want anything in return. If you think of it like that, you'll be okay. And that's the way I think of it. I'm giving them money. I gave them money. Just like most Kickstarters, you have levels of backing, right? And I look at it and I say, oh, if I give you like $300, you'll give me a Retaliator? Okay, I'll give you $300. Boom, here, take $300 free. And when the Retaliator's ready, you give it to me. That's the way you got to look at it. So when the Retaliator came in, I looked at it and was like, I can't be mad at them. They built it the way they wanted to build it. They built it exactly what their vision was of that ship. They maybe even better than their vision. It just wasn't my vision. But you know what? That's not what I did. I didn't buy the ship. I donated for that ship. I'm not going to call them and say, hey, I want my $300 back. No. No. I'm not going to do that. Because, first of all, I don't care about the ship. That's not why I gave them money. And that's not why anybody should be giving them money. The reason why you give them money is because you've seen the concept of this whole game, and that's what I'm backing. I'm backing the whole game. I'm not backing just the Retaliator. I'm not buying a Retaliator. I'm buying Star Citizen. I'm getting a Retaliator, which I melted and got something else. But that's another topic. But okay, so if you haven't figured it out already, I am on the side of Chris Roberts, Star Citizen, and the whole development team. But there have been some things that have caused people to think that Star Citizen was a scam. Okay, let's talk about some more. Employers, employment. Because this project, this company, backers have access to so much of the alpha pre-production development. I'm going to say pre-production because you have pre-production, which happened until about 2015, and then now you have the actual alpha, which is 2.0, they call it, right? Alpha 2.0, that's really when the alpha kind of kicked off. And it really shouldn't even be called, well, it can be called an alpha, but it can't be called a beta until all the features are in the game, right? And they haven't put all the features in the game. You still have mining and exploration and all this stuff. There's a lot of things that they have to put in the game to call it a beta. They can't call it beta. It's still alpha. As if they're adding new things, it's an alpha. There are games out there. Grand Theft Auto, maybe? Destiny, I'm going to say. They were in pre-production for like 2 years. Sounds about the same as a space game we're thinking of. No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous. They were all in pre-production. Pre-production. What that is hey, are we going to go? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? What do you think? Should we do it this way? Should we do it that way? And that's pretty much what Star Citizen was doing when they had Tony Zurvik and Bill Ademan in there making the whole economy map and everything like that. That's just one of many things that would be pre-production. Start Alpha about 2015, 2013, 2015. There you go, boom. 2013, they've only been in Alpha for 1 year. Not even yet. It won't be 1 year till like October, right? When they have their CitizenCon. Then they will have been in Alpha for a year. Well, how long was Destiny in Alpha? Just using that as an example. What, 3 years? Alpha, right? So, and then 2 more years for beta. So you're looking at like Destiny took them like, if you count the pre-production, which I usually don't, but if you count pre-production, like 7 years in production. And Star Citizen's not even half that. 3 years. Yeah, they've been in production for 3 years if you count the pre-production. Gentlemen, and ladies, I expect Alpha to go on for at least another year. Go all the way through 2017. At the end of 2017, maybe announce a beta. Beta! And the beta should go on for another year, maybe. So 2018, the game gets released. Okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. That's a 5-year production schedule. Wow, guys, really? Okay, so now let's talk about money. Okay, they say, well, they've made like 120 million, dollars, and where's all that money going? Or Chris Roberts taking it, pocketing in it, and where's the money going? I don't see the money. Blah blah blah. What are they buying? Blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, really? Do some math, guys. All you got to do is sit down and do some math. Take 300 employees. You won't even say that. Say 200. Because in the first year they only had a few, and then now they have 300. So we'll split it. We'll say 200. Take 200 employees. How much are you paying them? Let's say low. Let's say they're paying them low. $25,000 a year. $25,000, right? 200 people. $25,000 a year. 3 years. How much money is that? That's just salary. Okay? And then 4 studios. Rent. I don't even know how much the rent would be. Times how many months? Times how many years? And then electric. I know I'm breaking it down. Water, electric, all the basic necessities. That's going to eat up a lot of that money. Okay, and then you got to have the computers. You know how much computers cost? Damn. And then the networking, guys, servers, and then don't forget behavior. Yeah. So okay. So they made 120 million, right? Okay, let's just say, and they've used the majority of it, and they've spent it wisely. Let's say they spent it wisely. They don't have to pay a parent company, so they don't have to shave like 50% of it off to give to their parent company. They can keep it all internally. So they're getting about double the value for every dollar that they earn. You can look at it that way. So even though they've only earned or made 120 million. You can think of it like they've made 200 million, right? That's pretty awesome. You're saying, wow, man, they made 200 million. If you would, just jump on Google. Just Google this. How much did it cost to make Destiny? I'm just using Destiny as an example. $500 million, approximately. Star Citizen is only half that. Half the time so far, half the money. They still need more money. They still need more time. Money-wise, I don't think they're wasting it. I don't think they're... some people are saying, well, they're making these commercials instead of making ships. Dude, really? You have to make commercials to keep the excitement level up for this game. You got to understand advertising. You got to keep the excitement up. Well, why do they have reverse the verse? How much does it cost to make reverse the verse? It's probably cheap. It doesn't cost them anything. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of production here and there. They didn't even buy great cameras. It's like they took cameras off the shelf, you know, from people's homes to come in and film the show because they didn't want to waste your money. I think they're really trying to spend your money wisely. I really think they are. When it comes to subscribers, now let's talk about subscribers because I'm trying to hit every little topic, right? I have mixed feelings on this. I used to play a game. I've played like almost every MMO in existence, to be honest. I've played over 20 different MMOs. City of Heroes was my favorite all-time MMO. I loved City of Heroes. I would play City of Heroes, and then I'd say, man, I hate City of Heroes, man, this game sucks, right? And then I would go, let me go play this other game, Warhammer or whatever. And then in a couple of months into Warhammer, I'd be like, man, this sucks. I'm going back to City of Heroes because that was a lot better. And then I'd play City of Heroes for a while and say, no, I'm going to go play Champions. And then I'd come back to City of Heroes. And then I'd go, let me go play Lord of the Rings. And then I'd play City of Heroes. And I realized after about 4 or 5 times of me doing that, that City of Heroes was my go-to game. So I was playing City of Heroes. That had a $15 a month subscription when I was playing it. $15, period. You paid $15 or you didn't. You didn't play. You played $15 or you didn't play. I paid it. Why? Why did I do that? Because I wanted to, right? That's what it comes down to. It was you want it, you enjoy it, you have a good time, you think it's a value, it's an investment. So like I'll go buy like Call of Duty, right? And I'll pay like $60. It'll take me like 2 weeks to beat it. So I paid $60 for 2 weeks of enjoyment. Where now you're going to complain about paying $15 a month? Not me. I wasn't. They gave you things too, which was like, because you're, oh, let me back up. They, towards the end of their lifespan, because they're no longer doing it, but towards the end of their lifespan, they switched to this free to play, right? Where anybody could play, because they were starving for players, so anybody could play. But if you still wanted to be a VIP, you could be. You could back your $15 a month. And if you did, they would give you free coins and free costume changes and free this and that, right? That's kind of what Chris is doing. He's saying everybody can play for free, but if you want to be a subscriber, optional, you don't have to do it. But if you do, you get free stuff every month. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's what I'm saying. If you want to do it. Now, right now, because the game is not out, think of it as donations to make sure that this game stays in production. Notice how I said stays in production. Because if they run out of money and production's over, we all lose. We don't get the game. And that's why some people are saying it's a scam, because if, 10 years down the road it's not finished and then they just close their doors. Okay, well, I played City Heroes for years and years and years, paying $15 a month. I don't know how many hundreds of dollars I put into City Heroes. Hundreds. Maybe thousands. I don't even know. I was paying $15 a month for 6 years, something like that. And then they just closed their doors. They said, hey, end of the month, we're done. And I'm like, what? Okay, so I can only imagine, if Star Citizen said, hey, we're done production. We can't do it. We're running out of money. Done. I'd like, what? Okay, but I can't cry about it because guess what? I donated to them, and I need everybody else to donate, and not to cry about the donations. You're not buying the game. The promise is, the promise is currently, thank you. We'll try to get this game finished. Read the terms and conditions. Because this game is still in production, I don't think a subscription is really, you don't get any benefit for your subscription. Don't think of yourself as I'm obligated, I'm entitled to get any kind of anything back from a subscription, because you're not subscribing. You're donating in a attempt to get this game to be finished. If you think they owe you something for your donation, then don't donate, because you're thinking of it the wrong way. Don't be entitled. Okay, what you're doing is you're promoting this game. You're trying to help the game. You're an investor. You're investing in the game. You sometimes it's a gamble. You're not always going to get your return, right? But hopefully you do. The more we invest, the more likely it will be to be when the game goes live, right? And the game is actually being played. The game will rely on a steady stream of income so that the doors can stay open, right? And at that point, I might resume my subscription. I used to have a subscription. About a year ago, I stopped because I'm tight on money. Really, that's the main reason. I mean, if I had the means, I would be a subscriber, but I just don't right now. Okay, so I'm going to stop subscribing. That's the main key. Yeah, I still buy ships, you know, and I still, oops, did I just say that? I still donate and receive ships. See, even I'm thinking about it as like buying a ship, but it's not really buying a ship. When you hire a bunch of people for any project, not everybody's going to work out. Some people are not going to be, they're not going to be a fit. They're not going to be the kind of person that you thought they were going to be. And you're going to have to let them go. You just will. No matter how great of a person they are, if they're not doing their job, or if they're not doing it the way you want it to be done. I mean, they might be doing a great job, but it might not be the way you want it. And being the boss, your way is the right way, period, because you own the company, right? And if they don't do it your way, you know, there's some kind of conflict between the boss and his employee. In my opinion, the boss has the total right to say, hey, you're not working out. I'll see you later. You know, that's the boss has that right to do that. Maybe not in a dick way, of course. Maybe say like, you know, like, okay, you can work out the next 2 weeks while you're looking for another job or whatever. Cool. But I'm not just going to like cut somebody, or maybe I am, depending on how heinous the crime is, right? But yeah, there's people that come and go from companies. And when there was a lot of people that left about a year ago, right? There was a big hiatus. A bunch of people just up and left the company. They were either fired or they quit, one or the other. I didn't really care. A lot of people speculated like, oh man, you know, there's something going on, and you know, somebody was jealous because the other girl was prettier or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not why. You know, I have a feeling I know why they were let go. You know, but and I think like one person was let go and another person followed them. You know, it was like, what? They can't fire you. I quit too. You know, it's one of those kind of things. When you get 300 people in a company, somebody's going to get fired. You know, somebody's just not going to show up to work. You know, they're just going to like quit. You know, it happens. There's, especially when you're talking about the age group of the people that are employed. When we're talking about 20 somethings, you see a lot of that, right? Okay, and then maybe there's conflict with their school or something, and they had to quit. That's not a problem. That's great for them because now they're going to school or whatever. Then you notice there was a couple of other people that left because they were getting better jobs. Like some people were getting hired by Blizzard. Some people were getting hired by Sony. Some people were getting hired. That's good. Those are all good things. That means that those employees were chosen wisely because they were good employees. But Chris is trying to finance his, or maybe he wasn't paying them what they were worth, possibly, and that's helping you as the backer. And then the guy said, well, this person's going to pay me double, so bye. And he goes, and that's good for him, So, or maybe that was their dream job. They wanted to go. That's the way it is. And that's the way it is in all companies. You got people that come and go all the time. It's called turnover. You get people coming and going all the time. And like just recently, Gurmak just left because and it was not a horrible like, oh my God, I'm leaving. No, it was, hey, I'm taking off. I'm pursuing another career. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna try to get into film or whatever it was, and I'm just not getting that here, which of course not. It's a computer game. Good for him. And I bet you everybody at CIG supports him. Like, all right, cool, go, live your dream. So people just relax. It's not, And then there was this thing. There was another thing saying, oh well, everybody there is prejudiced. They don't hire anything but white men. That's not true either. They've got very no. They hire the most qualified, first of all. If you're qualified, you're qualified. If you're not qualified, you're not qualified. And and if you're a man or woman, it has nothing to do with it. If you're a different race, it has nothing to do with it. Because, well, just look around CIG all over the place. You see all kinds of people. There's just no aliens yet. But, they've hired everything else. So man, people, really, come on. Okay, now let's talk about this. I think I'm going to call this my final topic, really. It's the scope of the game. The scope, I kind of touched upon it at the very beginning, but Star Citizen has a scope like no other. You're looking at, and that's why I backed this game. It's not because I like spaceships. It's not because I like FPS. It's not because I like any of that or, whatever. I can get space combat anywhere. You can go to pretty much any game and get space combat, right? There's like 100 first-person shooters out there. If I wanted just first-person shooting, I can get first-person shooting. But where can I get space combat and first-person shooting and role-playing and an MMO and exploration and cargo transport and multiplayer, PvP, and, right? There are so many ands in Star Citizen. The scope of the game is just so large. You just can't even imagine. Well, you can apparently. If you're watching this video and you're curious about Star Citizen or you're just whatever, you get an MMO. Let's take City Heroes, right? You get City Heroes. I thought it was a great game. It was a great MMO. It was a great sink of my time. I spent a lot of time playing City Heroes. I would get home from work. Sometimes, now that I think about it, I would get home from lunch. I'd rush home, play a little bit of City Heroes, and then go back to work. That's how addicted to City Heroes I was. What was there to do? I'm looking back on this. What was there to do? I could go on missions. And basically what that means is, or quests, or whatever you want to call them, I'd go up to a quest giver, and I would say, I'm here for my quest. And he would say, go kill, or go capture bad guy X. And I'd rush off and go capture bad guy X. I'd bring him back. And then he would say, oh yeah, but X's minion is over here. Go over there. And then, so we call that a mission chain. So we went mission, till we got to the end, and there was a boss, right? And I'd be like, okay, let me fight the boss. Okay, that's pretty much standard, right? At the end I'd go, ooh, I level up, yay, grats, whatever. And then I would get like a bunch of coins, big deal, right? Woo, whatever. That's one thing to do. Then there was raids. They didn't call them that. They called them something else. I can't even remember. It was something to do with super groups. But you would get your team of guys together, and then you would go on these specific missions that were challenges, right? I don't remember what they call them, but hero challenges of some kind, where your team would go in and it would be like a major boss, and you can't fight him one-on-one. You'd have to have your team fighting him. And okay, that's cool. That's another thing. And then what? I could sit around my base, reconstructing it, organizing it, laying stuff out, moving boxes. I would stack boxes to make walls, and I did all this stuff, right? In the base. That was pretty cool. Costumes, come up with all different kinds of costumes. Sit in the character generator thing and make some costume changes and all that stuff. Okay, that's cool. Oh, they had events too, like Halloween events. Some pumpkin guy would walk around the city and smash things, or ghosts would fly by, or the Rikti invasions would come down, and you'd have to fight the Rikti. And those are all events. I'm done. I'm pretty much done. That's what you do in City of Heroes. That's all you did. I mean, yeah, all the missions were different. There's thousands of different missions, but they were still just missions. So what is there to do in Star Citizen? Well, you have exploration, so I can go out and explore the worlds, planets, systems, jump points, maybe discover something and name it myself. There's cargo. I can carry cargo. I can buy low, sell high, make a living, hauling cargo, avoiding pirates, hiring mercenaries. There's first person shooting, so I can, if I'm really into that, I could hire myself on as like a shipboard marine, or I could be the guy that helps take bases or big ships. You can hire yourself out, or you could be a defender or an attacker or something like that. What else? I can be a dogfighter. I can fight with fighter aircraft. Or I could be a pirate. I could be a protector, like a guy that gets hired on to be like a cargo escort. You can do passenger liner. You can do mining. You can do salvage. You can do, the list goes on really, right? I just stop there. You can be a bounty hunter, to hunt down those pirates. There's so many things, and all of those things are available to all players. So you don't have to limit yourself to, well, I'm a fighter, so this is what I do. I'm a cleric, this is what I do. No, I'm a citizen, and this is what I do. I do everything, right? So because of that, because the scope is so large, there's so many things to do that people are saying it'll never get finished. The project is so big that, and they designed it this way. This is where the scam comes in. He's saying that he designed it specifically so big that he will never finish it, so that he will constantly, year after year after year, just constantly crowdfund, and making more money, more money, more money, more money, right? And that's not true. I don't think that's true. If you're a follower of the project like me, you see where they were at the beginning. You see where they are now at the middle, and you can vision what they're going to be like at the end. They are making major leaps and bounds. They're also doing things that have never been done before, like the procedural generated planets. Yeah, okay, No Man's Sky and a lot of other games have procedurally generated things, but I wouldn't say this hasn't ever been done before, but it's never been done before at this scale, like so large that you can actually get out and walk around. And then there's going to be animals running around, aliens, there's going to be the AI. They're doing subsumption, where the AI is almost artificial intelligence, where you walk up to him and say, hey, and he says, hey, back at you, and then you drop a glass and he says, why'd you drop my glass? And he'll sweep it up. And there's AI that's going to punch you in the face, just because you look at him the wrong way. That's never been done. So the AI are going to be like, he wants the AI to react to you based on what you're wearing. What kind of clothes you have on. If you've got no clothes on you, the AI is going to treat you like a retard. And if you've got like really fancy clothes on, they might like, ooh, he's got really fancy clothes on. So just based on what you're wearing, is that how they're going to react to you? I think that's been done. But like what you say, how you look at them, like if you walk by and just go, they might react to you a certain way. If you don't offer your hand to shake their hand or something, they might react to you a different way. And all of that to me is like super exciting, because that's kind of immersive role-playing kind of thing in an MMO, and I just really haven't gotten that, right? Okay. They're doing these ships, or the people within ships, within the solar system, right? And if that ship lands at a space station and goes inside of a hangar, so you're looking at Inception. You're looking at inside of inside, 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 and they are having an issue right now that they need. This is like a nut to crack of instances. So they're instancing. I don't know what they're calling it. They're calling it something other than instancing, but you got an instance within an instance within an instance, which I'm sure you could do that, but all across the galaxy, that's going to be like super hard to do. So far, I'm liking it. You know, they've got all these AI running missions and stuff all over the galaxy, carrying cargo and stuff that has nothing to do with the players. The worlds are running themselves, and the players are just in it. That's super exciting too. You know, there's a lot of things that Star Citizen is doing that you don't see in any other game. And the graphics level is huge. It's like they're shooting for like 4K, it seems like. You know, they're just going to be like, I can see where people are thinking that it's a scam. I can understand why you would think that. But that's only because you don't have all the facts. It is not a scam. It's just a very ambitious project. They're just trying to get more than ever been done before in a game. And that's why people are afraid it's not ever going to happen. And they're calling it a scam because they don't believe it will happen. The problem is there's over 1 million people that think it will happen, or at least 700,000 of us. Because you look at the number of people that are signed up on the website. They're not all backers. About half of those are backers. All right, so thanks for coming out and checking out this video and listening to me ramble about people that think Star Citizen is a scam. I don't think it is. I honestly don't think it's a scam. I would not have backed this game if I thought it was a scam. I would not continue to follow this game, and I would be demanding my money back and stuff like that if I really did think it was a scam, but I don't. I don't think it's a scam. Let me rephrase that. No one's perfect. No one in the world is perfect. But Chris Roberts is not a villain. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the verse.